All right, let's go ahead and get started here. So my name is Nathan Hay. I'm with ATG in the MEP consulting department, and I'm the consulting lead, senior trainer here, and just wanted to finish up my series on the webinars of how to do an electrical design in Revit using out-of-the-box components. And I've already done 2 of these, and so they are on YouTube. And when this gets posted up there, you can go to YouTube and just search for those. You can get to them also through the ATG website, atgusa.com. That's also how you can find me. Email me at support@atgusa.com. Ask for Nathan Hay, the guy in the MEP department that did the webinar today, and it'll make its way over to me. What I'm starting with is a project that when I first did it, I went File, New, and I picked out the electrical template, just like this. And I've done 2 videos so far that get us to this step of linking in a background, of placing in the distribution system, of setting up the sheets, of placing things on the sheets, of doing a single line. And today is going to be a bit more of just it's finally set up. It's like it's ready for me to put all the stuff in that the owner and the architect are expecting to see. So far, I've just done a lot of the background work. So let's do a review. I set up the sheet for electrical notes. It's got a sheet list on it. I've done a site plan, which just doesn't have no site lighting on it yet, but it at least has utility transformer stuck somewhere in a service disconnect with a conduit or a line drawn. I've got to put a typical note on there, but we're pretty much okay on the site plan. Power plan level 1's where I'm going to be starting, but I've got my electrical room laid out. I've got my equipment tagged and connected to each other. There's a second floor for this building in this area. We've got a roof that has 3 rooftop units on it. A lighting plan shows our ceiling grids here on the first floor. No ceilings in these other sections. Lighting plan level 2. Got a room for details. We're going to put a detail on here. And then the single line diagram, very impressive 4-panel system here. And I showed you how to do this little bit, which is a good starting point for the much bigger ones that we do in the other video. Plus I've got the panel schedules for my high voltage 480 that then feeds a transformer that feeds L1, which then each carries through. I didn't use feed through lugs. I just linked them in, even though they're in the same room on a breaker, going to L2 and L3. There's a way to do this without having circuit breaker on L1 and just assign feed through lugs, but this is Revit 2020 that I'm actually using, and honestly don't remember if they introduced that in 20 or earlier or later, but it's relatively new feature for Revit. But right now, that's where we're at, and so what I wanted to do is just start here with number 1. Palmer says it's not even breakfast in Hawaii. Well, we're all crying for you that you're up that early in Hawaii. No, glad you're here. Glad you're here. I'm in Texas. We have a heat warning. Maybe y'all have one in Hawaii too. I don't know, but 106 today. All right, opening my power plan level 1, and I'm just going to get on in there. So if you're an AutoCAD person, this is more of the paper space, and then this is a viewport. And you click inside the viewport and you're in model space, or you can come over here to your list and go straight on to the power plan level 1. And this, you're like right in model space, but it's cropped. So here I am, and I've got my electrical room, and this is my high voltage, my transformer L1, L2, L3. And I've got an enlarged view right here where I actually tag the equipment and do that. So I just want to start with, let's get a receptacle in here because they always want an outlet in every room. So we're just jumping in. Systems, device, electrical fixture. This came right out of the box, nothing fancy here. I'm looking through here and I find duplex top switch, not what I want. Here we go, standard duplex receptacle. And it says, oh, I can't put this on the floor. It's defaulting to stick it on a wall. So I'm just gonna put it right there. and another one right there. And we've got those in that room. All right, they look too light to me. So let's go and tweak our overall settings. So this is a symbol. So even though it's an electrical device, it's showing as what's called an annotation, annotate, just a markup, a line, text. Object styles, if I go to electrical fixtures, it's already set at a heavy line weight, which is why these are showing up as bold. But that's a symbol. So annotation objects, you go to generic annotations. If the family was built correctly, and it's not because it's from out of the box, you would probably have a category here called electrical fixture, and you could make that a thicker line weight, but it's not. It's just drawn with plain old generic annotation. So we're going to go ahead and change that to 5, click apply, and we'll see these get darker here. There we go. Now we can see those things. All right. Well, now we want to circuit them. So I'm just going to click 1, hit the power button up here. It didn't want to go to a panel. It doesn't know where to go yet. So I'm going to tell it, let's go to L1. Makes sense. And it's on L1, right? If I go check L1, I'm clicking it, I'm clicking edit panel schedule up here, and it pulls up and it says, there it is, receptacle 180 per NEC. Nice. All right. Now, how do we know what circuit that's on without looking at the panel schedule? You go to annotate, tag by category, or TG on the keyboard, and we tag it. Nice. It tells me what panel it's on. It's got a leader. I can turn that off. Okay, what circuit? Let's just change okay, circuit tag, great. Oh, it's on 7. What panel is it on? Thanks, Revit. Okay, out of the box, not real helpful. All right, so let's do this. Let's go fix this somewhere. So I'm gonna jump over to the power plan real quick, and you can see those outlets are there. I'm gonna use the right click, create similar, and it's going to let me put some more in. So I'm going to put 1 there and 1 there and 1 there. Probably need to check my section view and see if those, I don't think those go all the way to the floor, but if they do, that's a bad idea there. Put 1 of those there. And now I want to power them. So I'm going to go ahead and select all, hit power, and it shows me a little error and it points to where it went to. It went to panel 1. If I want those to turn into wires, I can click that and they'll turn into it. That's actually kind of not preferred anymore because you can just tag every single fixture what it is, and it just cleans up the model. Lines running everywhere and you don't have to redraw them every time. You saw I forgot this one. So if I wanted to add that back to that circuit, I just pick this, and up here, electrical circuits, I can go edit circuit. It's automatically adding a circuit. You can see this is grayed out. So boop, there, now it's on the circuit. Okay, but where did they go to? Again, I put them on L1, we saw that. Over here under panel schedules, L1, and it shows there's there we go, 720, so 4 times 180, and it's defaulting to 20 amps. You got to watch that. Everything will default to 20 amps. It does not read the MOCP value you've got for a disconnect or anything. It always just says 20. You got to come in here and manually change it. So that's it. Conference room receptacles there on L1, but when I go back again, I'm hitting TG on my keyboard. I'm going to turn off the tag. Go ahead and tag these things. And I can either have out of the box the panel or the circuit. So we need to do a little customization here. I'm going to go with the circuit tag, just edit family. If you're an AutoCAD person, this is like opening the block editor. There we go. The label, the field it's pulling from is circuit number. The sample value here is just the number it shows me out there. I need also the panel. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to take the panel information, bring it over here, put it in order. I'm going to pretend it's L1A and then put a dash in between the two. And so when I click OK, this will say L1A-12 as a sample, and that'll be good. So this is my new circuit label. I load into project and close. When it asks, do I want to save, that really means, do you want to save it to your hard drive? No, I just want to load it into the project. I want to overwrite the parameter values because those fields are called parameters. And click that there and it loaded it in. Didn't do anything. This one is what it updated. My electrical device circuit tag is L18 now. Thank you. So this, the information of panel and circuit, is what I put into this tag, and the tag is pulling that information out of this object and displaying it for me. These tags are still the old electrical panel device. So I'm going to go ahead and click those three. I'm using the control key on my keyboard to make that plus sign. And I'm going to just change them here to circuit. And there we go. I can just move them into place. What would make sense? There we go. Let's go back to our enlarged plan. I'm going to double click on this circle. And I'm going to go ahead and change this one to the device circuit tag. Move it right there. I'm going to hit CS on my keyboard for create similar. And what happened here? I created a similar. Maybe it's not powered. That's right, it's not powered. So let's add this one to the circuit too. So click the object, electrical circuits, edit circuit, adds default, add it to it, click finish editing, and there we go, L17. Nice, right? And then we decide later, oh, that's overkill. They don't need all those receptacles in there. Delete, and it's fine. Going back to power plan level 1. Okay, so we added some outlets, we powered them, we fixed our tag. Now the tag's fixed and it'll work everywhere else in the rest of the project and on the next project I do. So usually they want data drops. You know, if you're an electrical person, they're like, we're going to have a TV over there. We want, let me get rid of that speed. We want that. So let's see, pull that out of the way for me. And let's say we've confirmed with the architect that the TV is going to be up against this wall and not this wall. So we go to Systems, Device, Data, and they don't give us any options. So we get plain, which is fine. We can go here and just stick it on the wall right there. Now we do have to have a symbol legend somewhere, and that's not covered in this, but basically you need to tell them a triangle is, for the electrical scope, it's, you know, provide J box adjacent to nearest receptacle with 1/2-inch conduit and pull string to above ceiling, you know, that kind of note on there. And so this, the conference room is basically done. We might need a floor box in there. And, you know, you can come up here and do electrical fixture and you just start typing floor. They don't give us a floor receptacle out of the box. So if I were to have to do that at this point, I would go ahead and do a device and I would just use my standard right here. And instead of placing on a wall, I would click this place on work plane and let it just float. And I'd stick it, you know, right there. And I would have to do the same with this. So I'm going to use right click, straight similar, and click place on plane. There it is. Kind of hard to read. So let's move our number or tag over. And then I would just do annotate text, especially I'm getting started with Revit. Provide floor box per arc, right? Let them specify how pretty they want the thing. And then you just click up here and get an arrow up to that and it's done, right? There we go. So these are not fancy. They're not really showing me anything. They're not speccing anything. So you might get yourself in trouble, but this is where knowing how to bring in your old AutoCAD stuff into Revit just real quickly as a linked CAD file is helpful. All right. So that is just some quick basics. How do I get these objects? This is the enlarged plan. I don't want them also showing here. The quick and dirty out of the box way is you select the actual items here in the enlarged room and you go to hide elements in view. And in this particular view, power plan level 1, it disappears. But in my enlarged plan, it's still there. All right, that's the quick and dirty. It's not the best way, but the best way is takes a little bit of development. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to get this sucker out the door because this is my first project in Revit and I still have a deadline, right? All right, power plan. So let's see. It'd be nice to tag the main one on the overall plan, but I'm going to go ahead and select these, right click, hide elements. There we go. There. So now they know the electrical room and the main panel is right there. Our service disconnect, you might have seen it earlier when I was zipping through the site plan. It's right there. This object is the same object. In AutoCAD, it may or may not be the same object, but in Revit, it is it, right? So I can tag it. Didn't really do a tag. I don't have anything in there to populate the tag. I could edit it. It's trying to fill in the panel name, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to go back here, and it says service disconnect electrical equipment tag. Maybe that's what I need. This is an electrical equipment type mark tag, which is totally different. I'll change it to electrical equipment, service disconnect. There, that's pretty good information for a first floor electrical plan. All right, you got your single line elsewhere. I'm eyeballing this and I'm seeing that it says the word space there. I'm just going to delete the word space. Okay. Hit save. Revit does not auto save, right? So it will do reminders every 15, 20, 30 minutes. Hey, save, hey, synchronize, but it's not going to do it for you. And their justification behind that is your files are enormous, or it's working on the cloud and you've got a slow connection. So we don't want to force you to auto save. I wish they gave us the option, but we are stuck with manual. There used to be an add-in for auto save, but they stopped updating it in 2018. Okay, let's jump over to our roof plan and see how we can power some mechanical equipment with out of the box stuff. So first thing I'm looking at is this looks okay if I look at it on sheet view. If I look at it in sheet view, what add-in am I using to get the green outline? Good question. Before I get into this, the add-in is a free one from Revit, not associated with ATG. So get up there on Google and type in PY Revit, no space. There's a guy that wrote a blog post about how great it is, and I agree. And it's using this tab coloring thing. If you want some more powerful tools, you want to go with the stuff we've got. It doesn't do tab coloring, but it does a ton of great things. Call your ATG sales rep and say, hey, I need a demo of the CTC, BIM Project Suite, Manager Suite, and Batch Suite to make my life a ton easier in Revit. All right. Now, looking at this, I'm like, what is this green dash line down here? I don't even know. So I know what it is. It's because I made it in a previous view. It's actually a scope box or a pre-crop box, and it's just showing up in my roof plan, and I don't really need it there. So I'm going to right click, and I'm just going to hide it. There we go. Now my roof plan is a little cleaner here. So this thing, if I click, okay, down here, I've got to uncheck. This is, can I select linked objects or not? I could not before, now I can. So I'm clicking on this and it's showing me, this is my LinkedIn mechanical model that I brought in the other session. And so those are my things. If I click on this wall, it says, okay, that's my commercial building. So these are the 3 units I need to power. And you know, hopefully they've given me their selections. They told me the sizes. I've got that information somewhere else. If they're actually updating their Revit correctly, you can tab select and typically see some information over here. It looks like this mechanical designer has said that it's a 10-ton unit, and you know, this doesn't help me as electrical. There's no electrical information in here at all. So a 10-ton unit, I got to go look at my little cheat sheet or go get the cut sheet from him and look up the electrical stuff. I did that ahead of time for this thing. So I can go ahead and insert an out-of-the-box fixture, and they gave us a nice one, and it is up here. If you go to Systems, Device, and just search motor with disconnect, I'm going to go with, let's say I looked on my cut sheet, and this is a 480 3-phase unit. I'll just click that, and this is a pretty nice symbol right out of the box, right? They're showing you what it really is. It's a motor connected to a 3D thing, but we're electrical and we're selling PDFs, not 3D models of disconnects. Let the architects do that. So I'm just going to put it right here. It's not really associated with anything. You know, it's not trying to stick itself to a wall like the receptacle. It automatically knows it's just going to be kind of floating. So I'm just going to put it here because it's symbolic anyhow. And I know it's a 10-ton, so I'm actually assigning all the electrical information for this unit to this device. It's really got nothing to do with this. If you're real advanced in Revit, you can have it connect to that thing in the other model, but usually mechanical electrical don't coordinate well enough, don't have time to coordinate well enough to make it work. But we do have the Mep Productivity Pack or Mep PP add-in, which is, it's really not an add-in, it's a whole custom template that's pre-developed for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing to completely integrate everything together. And you don't have to mess with any of this out of the box stuff that half works. and certainly doesn't have enough options for all the things that we do. I mean, there's just, you know, they gave us a motorized shade light switch, you know, but they're missing some obvious things like just an above counter receptacle. So, you know, they put what they put in there, and we get to fill it out. So the Mep Productivity Pack, call ATG, call your salesman, and ask him for a demo. That thing's brilliant. But what I'm showing you here is what a pain in the butt it is to do design out of the box, but that it can be done after 10 years of experience like I've got. So hopefully you can follow along with this. YouTube will put out a transcript for you. We'll have support files you can download, so you can actually poke at these very things I'm using right now to help you out. I've even got white papers. If you go to atgusa.com and click on resources and go find our white papers, I have 3 white papers published that are the 3 steps of project setup, and then electrical distribution systems, and then powering up all your devices. Those are the 3 white papers, and this is the 3rd one. You can just download them, and they're a step-by-step with screenshot how I did this stuff. And it is a great elementary lesson on how to get Revit doing something for you. All right, back to this. So if we're saving the power information in this, then I need to give it a name. Let's see. I'm going to duplicate the type, edit type, duplicate, and I'm going to call this one RTU 480 volt, 100 amp, 3-phase. Remind myself that it's a 10 ton. And I got that by the cut sheet from somewhere else, right? That's the MOCP. So, okay, that's the name of it. My motor voltage 460 doesn't really work in Revit. 480 works. My apparent load, looking at my cut sheet, that looks right. And the rest of this stuff is just, you know, whatever. We don't have to mess with any of that. But 3-pole, 480, motor load. It says voltage and motor voltage. I don't know. You just need motor voltage on this one. And the apparent load, this is your watts, 9 kilowatts. So, okay, there I got my power information in. And this one, let's see here, duplicate it. And then in the description line, when I do edit type, I'm going to be using this description line somewhere else later on. Let me see here. Where is that? This guy right here. I'm going to put in mech equipment schedule. And that will be a field that the schedule looks for to know what equipment to put on the schedule that I make later. So I'm just putting that in this description field. I mean, you've got make and model already. So I could go ahead and fill in, you know, Linux, LGH, right? I think it's safe to put Linux in there because they're not shipping rooftop units right now because of demand and supply issues. So there's your thing, right? LGH 120, blah, 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 in the manufacturer. So I've got this description column I can use elsewhere. They don't give me a field that says which schedule do you want to show it on. So I made one up. I just used description. So, okay, there. That one is there. And now what I also want to do is this one is going to have to be distinguished from the other 2 over here. So under mark, I'm going to call this one RTU 1. And let's say that that's the same name that mechanical is using. All right. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and power it. So I click it, just like a receptacle. I hit the power button. It didn't pick a panel, but I know I want it on H. So it's on H. It's on a breaker. Let's go open H over here and just double check what it did. There it is, motor. So I'm going to go ahead while I'm thinking about it, RTU1, and I know this needs to say 100 amps. I told you it wouldn't pull the information from anywhere. You also see that the way the family's set up, it's automatically dividing my load over the 3 phases. The transformer has a 900 and it's not splitting things up yet. So it's because there's only a 5 receptacle load. I don't think it would divide it over the 3 phases because it's only single phase loads on this 3-phase transformer at the moment. They all happen to be on phase A. Okay, close that one out. All right, now I'm going to try to tag it. Let's see if it works. Annotate, tag by category. Huh, okay, well, gave me the circuit. What else? Can I tag it with the, all right, how about the device name? I need RTU1. I don't want to type it in text because then if I change the name, I have to come back. So out of the box, we're going to go click on this family. This is the electrical device circuit tag. right? This is the one we used for the receptacle. I'm going to hit edit type, and this is the blank one. I'm just going to rename it. I'm just going to put panel dash circuit, right? That's all it is, okay? If you're going to put a leader on it, you won't have an arrowhead. It's just going to be a line. So we'll leave that there. Okay, this is panel circuit. If we go back to power plan level 1 and click on this, it's that same thing. It's panel circuit. But we're going to edit it so that we have the option of showing what the device's name is. So click on it again, click edit family again. And there's our L1A12 that we did earlier in the thing. So we're going to click on type. And right now we have a panel circuit one. We're going to make a new one. And we're going to call it panel circuit and type. Or I'm sorry, not type. I want to go with name. All right. And so what we want to do is copy this. We're going to have it just pop in above it. So there it is. That looks about reasonable, but we don't want it to have the panel and circuit. So I'm going to click edit, get rid of panel, get rid of circuit, and come over here. And it was Mark, I believe, that we used to fill in the name of that object. So RTU, 13 or whatever would be my sample value, right? So now if I bring this in the way it is, it will come in and my receptacle circuits will be trying to put in this field of Mark or whatever. And we're not using that for receptacles, at least not yet. So what I need to do is say, this one, it says visible. So it's always going to be visible no matter what type I'm using. But this one, I only want it to show up if I've got that other type pick that includes the name. So for visible, I'm going to click this little gray thing next to it. And I'm going to create a new parameter that says show name. And just leave all the rest of this the same, right? Okay. So see, this is grayed out and this is there. It's now assigned to the parameter show name. And I'll show you where that pops up. Up here in this, there it is. So panel circuit and name, I want it to show name. Panel circuit, I need to uncheck it. I don't want, if I'm using this type of tag, I don't want it to show the name to me. But if I'm using this type, I do. And now the panel and circuit is selected already to always show because this is checked here. All right, load into project and close. I don't want to save to desktop. I do want to overwrite the parameter versions and everything. This was still panel circuit. Let's change it to panel circuit and name, and ta-da, there we go. All right, got that tag. Now let's take a look at what this is. Tab select 5-ton unit. They don't tell me that it's RTU2, but that's what I'm going to call it until they tell me otherwise. So I'm selecting the tag and the object. And I'm going to use this copy command. I'm just going to grab it from the corner and I'm going to go ahead and put one there. And so it shows a question because it's not powered and it actually incremented the number to 2 for me. It just did that automatically. I didn't ask it to do that. It just did it. So what I have to do now is hit power and it goes to H, right? But I did something wrong here. I just left it as a 10-ton. So I need to do edit type. And I'm going to duplicate and make this one a 60 amp 5-ton. So I just hit duplicate. I'm changing the name here and I'm coming down and let's just say I look at my cut sheet and it's 5,000 and everything else is the same in here. That's just what changes. So, okay. So now it's got 5,000 watts at 480 volt on that for RTU and it went to panel H7911. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to come over here and since it just defaults to motor, I'm going to type in RTU2. See how it distributed over these? And this is wrong. You got to change it to 60 and there you go. All right. Let's go ahead and quick copy this one over to the other one. So copy, let's grab there to there. It incremented it for me. I know that it's the right 5-ton. Let's tab select 5-ton. Click this. This one's already selected as a 5-ton. Hit power. It goes to H by default. Circuits 8, 10, 12. Open up panel H and rename that to RT3. Okay. Excellent. So the panel you can see down here, built into Revit is a motor thing, and it's automatically figuring out your highest load that's categorized as motor and increasing it. Who knows? I don't know if it's increasing it by the NEC or not, but it is increasing it, right, to an actual demand. Your receptacle load, the first 10,000 is 100%. So it's still doing it right, but you'll see this drop, this demand factor drop as this goes up, and then it's totaling it up over here. And you're automatically saying, okay, I need at least a 26 amp service. You know, you're going to ask the utility company for 400 because you can just, you know, see ahead what you're going to need. But it's a 250 amp panel, main lug only. But this is panel H. We probably want it to be a main circuit breaker, but that's another video. So let me close out panel H. So that is how I got, without having any mechanical equipment to really use, like this actual thing, I just used the out of the box motor with disconnect, made my own type, put in my own stuff, and boom, it's on the plan. Now, this doesn't tell anybody anywhere that this needs to be a 60 amp NEMA 3R with service receptacle adjacent, blah, blah, blah. That's what you put on your schedule. But this is the basic information that you need, and you can get there from here. All right. So we need to put this on a schedule, right? So how do you make a schedule? Schedules, out of the box, it comes with a sheet list, or maybe not. Maybe I made that, and a space schedule. I think I made that. I think it comes with nothing out of the box. So what we do is we go to View, Schedules, Schedule. And it says, well, what do you want to schedule? Well, I want to schedule mechanical equipment. How do I know that's that? If I go back to my roof plan and I click on, actually, it's not mechanical equipment, it's an electrical fixture. This category here is what I want to make my schedule off of. So View, Schedules, electrical fixture, not mechanical equipment, even though my brain tells me that. So electrical fixture schedule. I'm going to rename this to mechanical equipment schedule, right? And click OK. And then it says, well, what columns do you want over there? And I'm like, okay, well, I know I need the mark. So the name of it, electrical data would be good. Let's go ahead and put the description because we'll need that. Let's see, what else? We want type. We want to put the panel. We want to put the circuit number with it. Heck, let's give it what floor it's on. We can issue that information. And even if there's comments, this is really going to be a key location. This description, remember, if we put in the description the words mech equip schedule or something like that, that's what I'm going to use here now in a moment. Okay, so these are going to be the columns in my schedule. That's what those are. But first, I'm going to filter it out. I'm going to make sure that description equals mech equipment schedule. That way, if I've got heck, any other electrical fixtures on here, the receptacles won't show up on this because they don't use that field for that thing. I want to sort it by my mark, which is RTU number. Formatting, I don't care about that right now. Appearance, I just want to get rid of this silly blank row that pops up. And when I click OK, I get this. All right. This mech equipment description is filtering it. So clearly my RTU 2 and 3 are not working. So let's hop back over there and see why they're not in that description. If I click that and I click edit type and I come down to description, I go, oh, oops. Well, let's be sure to put it in there. Click OK, come back to my schedule, and there they are, 2 and 3. It's showing me my electrical load. My type means duplicating information, but that's okay. It's telling me where it's circuiting to. Yes, there's a way to show it H-246 here, but it's a little, there's a little bit of a process to it. And it's telling me that they're all on the roof and we don't have any equipment anywhere else yet. This column I don't really need, so I'm just gonna, I need it to filter, so I can't delete it, but I can just hide it so it doesn't show. And this shows me my wattage, and this shows me that. But my comments is really where, out of the box, you could have columns for all the other information if you want to develop it. But right here, I'm just going to put 100 amp MOCP. I'm going to put, I don't know what would be FLA or MCA or something. Put 90 amp MCA or something. I don't know if that matches the math for 8510 VA, but whatever. So this is 60 amp MOCP with, say, a 50 amp MCA. and copy that to the next one. So maybe this one happens to be the same, but it's a little different, right? 45 MCA, it's a 5 ton, but maybe it, I don't know why it would be different, but there you go. That's how you do that. So that's the schedule. And so I've got this mechanical equipment schedule, and that's enough for someone to go price it, right? I got my bid set ready. So let me jump over to my power plan. And since all that equipment is on my power plan, let's go to the plan sheet. So I could put all my schedules, say, on the electrical notes page right here, but a lot of times it just makes more sense. Put my schedule, just find it there, drag it over and put it on the sheet like that. And if I wanted to filter by level, then I could have roof equipment schedule, and I could have a level 2 equipment schedule, and a level 1 equipment schedule. And these little things I'm just going to stretch out to make it a little more legible. There, all done. We'll need to add, maybe this would be where we say provide NEMA 3R enclosure and service receptacle on, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That can all go right here. And then if you need just typical notes, I would just say annotate text, schedule notes, and then click one, go this, that. And you just move it up there and looks pretty much right? And that's what we issue. You can put all that stuff in there that you normally need. I'm gonna hit save. And so you've just seen me in 40 minutes of talking. I did this yesterday in 20 minutes, not talking. Put some circuits in here, tag some things, customize my tags, which only needs to be done once. Now that it works, it works. I don't have to mess with that anymore. You see me type in some text. Then I switched over to the roof plan, and I powered some mechanical equipment with the device. And then I created a schedule for that. And I also created my panel schedules. I created these in a previous video, so they're actually already on, let's see, the single line diagram sheet. And you can see that it populated that, and we populated that as we went. So there we go. Not using L2 or L3 yet. I'm not going to circuit the whole building. I mean, now that I've shown you how to do the conference room, you can pretty much do everything else. And anything that would need a disconnect, if you've got an air handler or in the closet here or a condensing unit outside, you just use that same disconnect device and put it on there and show, and you can circuit it and do all the things you need to do. Now what we're going to look at is the lighting system. And so we're going to open up lighting plan level 1. I'm going to, there's a button here, close inactive. It'll close all these tabs for me. Boom. All right. I'm in quote model space, cropped to the lighting plan, and I've got some ceiling grids down here. So first thing I want to do is go to systems and lighting fixture and see what they gave me out of the box. Lots of old stuff. These parabolic lights were invented to reduce glare on CRT monitors. So they've really done some serious development for us, but that's why we sell the Mep Productivity Pack, is because it comes with way better lighting families, way better. So I'm going to just use plain recessed 2x4 277 volt, right? That's what the architect's expecting. Maybe we'll do 2x2, but we're just going to go with that. And it doesn't want to seem to do anything, but that's because Revit always defaults on wanting to stick things on walls, and it will never remember what you click. So just lighting fixture, the face, it wants to put it on the face of this 2x2 grid, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put one there and come down a little ways and put, that's going to be a pretty bright hallway, but whatever, there we go. All right, got 3 in my corridor. Now I want to tag it, and what do you bet the odds are that it's going to actually tag the way I want it to? Tag, gave me a question mark. Okay. Well, and now there's nothing in it. So I'm clicking on it, and my only options out of the box are boxed or standard. Well, standard has no box around it. That's real good. I don't know what value it's trying to put in here from these fields. It's not using mark. It's not filling in the type. It's not showing me my panel or circuit. It's not showing me my switch ID. It's not giving me any useful information straight out of the box. We have to go through that whole process for the lighting fixture tag that we basically had to do for the other one. But we can do that really quickly here. Edit family. You know, I don't care about boxes around it, so I'm just gonna delete that. We're gonna go ahead and click here on this one eye. I don't know what they're thinking. Make it a little wider. Edit. It's trying to show me the circuit number. So that light fixture was uncircuited and it was trying to show me a circuit number 1I. So circuit number is great. I need that shown, but I also need the panel. You know, I need that in order. I need panel like L1, no, it'd be H1, and have a dash, right? So I need to show me that, but I also need to show me the type of the fixture. And the way, you know, we want to go with type name. I think we did mark or something for the other one, but for light fixtures, type name is usually a good way to manage your lighting fixture schedule. Since we usually have a typical one, we want the type name up there. And this one, I think I'm just going to call, it's type A, right? And I need to put a break that just hard return after it telling me the type name. I need a hard return and I need to tell me the panel and the circuit, right? One thing I also know down the line, I'm going to want the switch ID shown in there somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and it's going to show the type name, hit enter, panel dash circuit, and then hit enter and give me my little switch ID, which I'm going to use a little lowercase b. So when I click OK, this is going to say what it's supposed to look like. There we go. Okay. All right. Load into project and close. Don't want to save to my hard drive. I do want to overwrite everything. And now this is here. So if I click this, the type name is that right there. So let's say in my list, my 2x4 is type B. So I'm just going to rename this to B, capital B. That's B. That's my B fixture, right? And let's say it's LED now, so it's only 32 watts. I can fix that there. I know it's 277. That's good. Lighting dwelling unit. I don't know why it defaults to that. We'll just put it on lighting. And the demand factor in Revit is built in. It's not even doing it right here. So maybe we could change it to general, and 125 is at least NEC. Put it on lighting general so it calculates it at 125%. All right, click OK. So I'm on the right load classification, the right voltage, the wattage. I looked at my cut sheet. I don't care about any of this. It's advanced and it doesn't work out of the box anyway. So clicking OK. There, it changed that to B. Now I want to power it. And it went to H. That's good. And it's 277, 32 watts. You know, there's a lot of other information in here, wire type and stuff, but we don't need that right now. We can go check panel H and see that it put it on circuit 13, lighting corridor, 108, 32 watts. 20 amp is good because we're going to add some more lights to it, right? Okay, so now it's showing me B and H13. That's really good. Okay, you can see there's a gap there. I know how to fix that real quick. Edit family, click label. See this 1 here? Needs to change to 0. How many spaces in front of it do you want? I want 0. So load into project. No, overwrite. There we go. No space. Now it looks better. Now I want the little switch, right? So let's go get a switch. Systems, device, lighting. There's a little light switch picture. All right. And then I know there's somewhere in here, there's a single pole. So if I type the word single, there we go. Not great, but it's a start. And we'll put that little guy right up on the wall right there. And there we go. So it needs a switch ID. We'll call it just A, lowercase a. All right. I need to go back to my notes here. Hold on. Zip, zip. Okay. So I put that switch in there, change all that, and then we need to go ahead and tag these other ones. So I can click this and do a CS, or right click and do create similar, or I can go up to annotate and click tag all, but it's trying to tag it. You can't, you'd think you could drop down and select it, but what it's doing is it's saying, you know, which tag. And so I'm just going to jump down, hit L for lighting. I just wanted to use the standard one that I fixed. And so click OK. And there, and I think it's working, but they're not powered. So just like we did the receptacle to add it to the power, we click electrical circuits, edit circuit, it defaults to add a circuit, and I'll just add those to it and click finish. And now they're also on the right circuit. I can line that up like that, looking better, right? Now we need to say, oh, this is on switch A or something, right? So this, normally it's the only switch in the hallway or it's on aux sensor or something, but I just got to show you how to do it. So we click all those things and you actually click this little switch button, switch, and it says, okay. Now edit switch system is what comes up. I need to select a switch. And I'm going to go ahead and pick that guy right there. And it did. Since this one was A here, they're all on A, right? And I can make another one, copy it, and call it B. And let's say I wanted this one on B for some reason. Up here, switch systems, I can do select switch and I can click on B and it changes all of them to B because it's on the switch system. So I first need to edit the switch system. I need to remove this one from that B switch system. Now these two are on B, and this one, I need to switch it. I can pick A. It's just, you can see how kind of clunky this is right here. Select switch, click. Oh, come on. Okay, select switch. There. Finish. Okay, got it. Now, why don't these say A and B? It says A right there. It says B right there. I don't know. That's a thing. If you hit edit type, it's actually going to show us this. Watch this. I think that's it. Or no, it's not type mark, it's label. A, right? Apply. Come on. Both of them show A, but we know that this is B, right? So just to get this thing working out of the box, edit type, and we'll call this one single pole A. And we'll duplicate it, and we'll call this one single pole B. And we'll put B in that label for that little one there. So, okay. So this is actually, this B needs to match this B. It doesn't. So we need to fix something here. This A, B. Anyway, you can see out of the box, light switches kind of suck. Plus those are single pole, they're not aux sensors, they're not digital controls or anything. Any of that stuff, just good luck. Out of the box, it takes quite a bit of jumping through hoops. Okay, so I got the switches on there. I got them tagged right. One last thing I want to show you is how do I put a light in here? There's no ceiling, right? It's going to say mount to structure on any of these things. So let me just real quick, systems, lighting fixture. I'm going to go pick the 1x4 pendant right here. That's 277 and place on vertical face. No, I don't want it on the wall. Do I want to place it on face? There is no face. There's no ceiling to stick it to. If I was going to hang it over here, it would. What I need to do is work plane. And it's going to say, well, what work plane? In a previous video, I showed you how to set up basically an invisible plane or line at a certain number of feet off the ground so that we could do this later. And I'm picking that one that I created, level 1 ceiling work plane. I'm going to go okay. And so that invisible height off the ground that you can actually see from a section view, I'm going to put this on it. So I'm going to rotate it, hitting the space bar, and I'm going to go ahead and put just one here and one there. All right. So now I've got these pendant ones, and let's see where it mounted them. Put them at 12 foot on the reference plane, level 1 ceiling work plane. All right. So there we go. I'll have a note somewhere else that says if a switch is not shown, provide aux sensors, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I'll handle that. All right. So now we need a light fixture schedule, right? Actually, this does need a tag and it needs to be powered. So let's go ahead and select those. We're going to add them to this power circuit. So I click one of them, click electrical circuits, edit circuit, defaults to add. Go ahead and add those guys. Since they were all 277, this works. If you accidentally put a different voltage, it's going to say, I can't do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and tag it. So TG on my keyboard will give me that. So there we go. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we call these U for utility light or something. So it's called 1x4 277. So edit type, rename, type U, okay, okay. And there, now this is my type U for utility light. And we can make a lighting fixture schedule now that just like we did for the mechanical equipment schedule, but we can do one for lighting and give us the information we need for these basic light fixtures. View, schedules, schedules quantities. What are we doing? Lighting fixtures. call it light fixture schedule, probably all caps if that's your thing. And so the things we need to show are the type, because that's where we're getting the letter B or the letter U. We also want to show again the panel and the circuit, because everybody needs to see that. And then we need, we don't filter really by anything. Count would be nice. You know, how many of these fixtures are there? A lot of times engineers will leave that off because it's like, no, make them count it themselves. We don't want to be liable for that, but you know, whatever. Type comments is the other one that I want to put in there. So if we put that over there, we'll move count up to the first line there. So now, how do we want to filter? We want to include everything, so no filtering. We want to sort it by the type, so B comes before U. Formatting, everything's fine. Appearance, I just want to get rid of that blank row there. And when I click OK, I should get a schedule that shows BBB and U. Now, the thing I forgot is, I believe under formatting or appearance, one of these, it says itemize every instance. You know, you want to do that for disconnects because every disconnect is different. But for light fixtures, you want them to group it by whatever you've got up here. So when I click OK, it's going to say BH13 and it's going to have a count of 1. Right? That actually won't work very well with these columns, because if I have more B's and they're on a different circuit, it would show all this, but these two columns would be blank. So that's probably not the thing. It's been a while since I did an actual real design. So this is our basic schedule right here, right? B and U. Well, this is where I can type in my performance spec, you know, Lithonia, what is it, 2x4, I don't know, 5,000 LM, 80 CRI, 32, whatever, you know, you're putting in your stuff. And then U would be, you know, Lithonia 1x4 contractors select. I think they changed the names recently. You just put your information in there that they need, and and then go put that on the plan. So I'm jumping over my lighting plan. You can see my light fixtures here. For some reason those are blue. I don't know why. Out of the box. And drag my light fixture schedule over here. And you know, I'm basically ready. Once I do more of that on all the other sheets, I'm ready for printing. You know, one last thing I know is that I've got all these details in, say, AutoCAD, and I need to put those in. Your best way of getting those in is just to link them in real quick. So I'm going to make what's called a drafting view. It's just an empty area for it. And I'm just going to call it details. Make sure it's set as 1:1. I don't know what the scale should be. So it's just this blank area. And I'm going to go to insert, link. Don't ever do import CAD. Always do link CAD. And I have a sample one somewhere. Where did I put that thing? There it is. I've got this eye line. I just snagged it off of their website. But when you take in a PDF, what you want to tend to do is change it to black and white, layers and levels, only the visible ones. And then positioning, since it doesn't really matter where it shows up in here, I'm just going to let it plunk itself down. Click OK. See where it goes. Okay. Looks like it came in not quite legible. This is why AutoCAD and Revit don't like to work, but this is okay. I can open up the CAD, fix this in CAD, and then reload it in here using the manage links, CAD, reload this button, and it'll reload it after I fix it out there. That's a very common AutoCAD process when you're messing around with X-res and stuff. So this is this detail I've got that I made, and it's, where is it? It just shows up here. It just kind of came in as details when I called it that. So I need to put it on the sheet. Here's my details sheet that we made another view. I'm going to click drag and drop, and it came in ginormous. So since details are always not to scale anyway, I'm just going to click it and change my scale here to something smaller. I don't know. Let's go to 3/64. See if it fits. I don't even know where it went. So I'm going to go down here, right click, remove from sheet, and then I'm going to drag it back on. Oh, look, now it fits. Okay. This says 3/64. That's kind of annoying. We can click that. doesn't give us any more options to change this here. So real quick, edit type, duplicate. I want to call one no title, and I'm going to tell it none, and show title no, and there. Okay. Aha, it's gone. Okay, now I'm ready to PDF this thing. And if you've watched the last 2 videos, plus this one, and along with the white papers, and if you need help reaching out to ATG, you can now hit PDF and all these things will be ready to go. So I really hope this is helpful. This comes from a long time of working in Revit with more advanced families with our Mep Productivity Pack. It's that I'm able to jump into Revit out of the box and do this. Now, if I had to design the rest of this building and they decided to put in some other equipment, or they wanted to use different voltage or something, or I needed to get all my standard notes and all my details in, there's a lot more work to do. And if my title block is wrong, if they want a different title block, I go through that in another video. There's a lot of work to do, but you know, this should be, these 3 videos should be a good training series for you. To get your hands on this very step by step. You know, if there's any mistakes or anything you notice or something doesn't work quite right, it could be this is in 2020. You know, a Revit 23 just came out, I believe. They're not backwards compatible. So if you develop something in 23, like a template, or do this exercise, you won't be able to use it on another project in 22, 21, 2019, or whatever. So go with the oldest version you can use. I would say 20, just to duplicate this one. And you can, you know, once we get this on YouTube, we have to process it and stuff. These will be able to be downloaded and reviewed yourself. You can go to the other 2 videos and they have 2 downloads already from the last 2. So you can at least get the file that is the starting point for this exercise so you can do it yourself. So again, Nathan Hay, ATG MEP department. Give us a call if you need help with anything Revit. Thank you and have a good one.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.